All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are live. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the stream tonight. We're going to have another conversation about identity. There was this video that kind of dropped in my lap about this colored woman out of South Africa. We're going to talk about just the history of that word, where it come from, what was the use of that during apartheid, which apartheid was very horrible in South Africa, very, very horrible, ended in 1994, but financial apartheid has not ended in South Africa because the white supremacists still own a lot of land. This is why you have our brother Julius Malema, talking about, getting the land back. Same thing in Namibia. The white supremacists are 6% of the population, and they own 60% of the land. So, yeah, land is a big issue in those areas. But I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening, about 7 o'clock. And let y'all get in here. Let me give, before we even get started, let me go ahead and give a hand clap here to Jerry. Shout out to Jerry. Have y'all downloaded the African Diaspora News Channel app while we waiting on people to come in? Have you downloaded it? Have you joined, got a membership? Remember, we're trying to get our 10,000 members on the app. That's very, very important, as we explained before. The reason why we got to keep pushing the app is because it's our one-stop shop where everything that we do going to be on the app. I know some of you say, why don't you put everything on one channel? That's not wise on this platform. Number two, as we explained before, we had our account hacked here, channel deleted. We got it back, but what if we couldn't have got it back? On our podcast channel, they turned our water off about a day or so. So I got tired of dealing with all that, and we need a place. Our content is there. We don't have to worry about nobody taking it down, or it's there. It's ours, and we need just 10,000 people. That's all we need is 10,000. And I know 10,000 can show up and join the platform with the app. We're going to start porting everything from Malume's Exodus to the app. I got to empty the vault. Got a lot of stuff in the vault that we've taken down from YouTube, even certain interviews I forgot that I've even conducted. We got to put that on the app. So we have so much to put on the app. So please join the app. It'll be good to do so. Let me see how long we got here. So how's y'all day been? I will switch. A lot of times I switch to my phone to watch the comments, but for now I have to do it here because I'm connected to my teleprompter here, and I don't want to switch off of it. So I'll just kind of, chit chat just a little bit. How many of y'all going to South Africa? You going to the South Africa trip in April? How many of y'all doing that? If you going, press 1, because I'm curious to know how many of y'all is going. That could be in the chat. Have you been before? It'll be your second time going. I want to know how many. I'm curious about that. Okay, Canary, you say you just downloaded the app. Awesome. We got about okay. Well, we almost about that at that time. All right. So as you can see, the title for tonight, Colored Woman is tired of the brothers and sisters in America and the UK, getting on to her, about her race. She's sick and tired of that. So we have talked about color before. You see me say colored woman or different things. You see me say that. Now, I will say up front, I've been to South Africa. I've met colored people. I know it's crazy for us to even say that. So I remember the first time I met for me, it's like just a black person, a light-skinned black person. Oh, God. Sorry about that. My child is calling me. Give me a second. She don't know I'm live streaming. That's the thing about lives, right? Give me a quick second. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's get to. Let me make sure I put it silent. Let's get to the word color. Let's just talk about it just in a brief history. One of the earliest official uses of the word colored, and the way we spell it is the way they had spelled it. That they found was by the colonizer Cecil John Rhodes. Who of you know Cecil Rhodes, the evil colonizer Cecil Rhodes, the white supremacist? He said the term color to describe a labor class that he intended to exploit on South Africa's growing diamond and gold fields in the late 19th century. It said these people were neither European or so-called native, and so their isolation would make them more malleable, or so he thought. Now, you have to understand, racism, white supremacy is about divide and conquer. If you want to say what is the tenets of white supremacy, is that. And unfortunately, black folks globally still don't get it. They still don't get it. After all these years, they still don't get it. I will say, and this is not me saying it, but I was told this in South Africa, that black Americans are the most unified group of black people in the world. And the reason why we're so unified is because we couldn't divide on no color like that. Because it don't matter if you my color, darker, or you light bright, almost look white. If you got a black parent, you are a black person, period. And you're going to be put in the black group. So going through that for years and years and years, we could not divide on some silliness. Now, you get to the continent, and unfortunately, even after all this time, after colonization and all that happened on the continent, you still have the tribalism. You still have that, unfortunately. Even in 2024, 21st century, technology, AI, all that, and you still have tribalism. So much so that when some come to this country, they bring their tribalism with them. Then when black Americans start picking up the tribalism, delineation is basically tribalism. When black Americans start coming to the delineation party now everybody say it's foul when they do it. But they say it's foul because when you're in this country, you need black Americans to have your back because your numbers is not high enough to really do much. And we know historically none of these other groups who are within the diaspora never fought white supremacy in their homeland and definitely didn't fight them here. They're trying to go along to get along here. They're not trying to stand toe to toe against the white supremacists. That's what we have done. You understand? So back then to now, divide and conquer still works. It still works. All they have to do is give you a little pet on the head, like a little animal, and say, "Oh, you much better than them. I like you more than them." That's all it takes. Because unfortunately, a lot of you value their validation. Once you get to the point that it's nothing they can say that's impressive to you, nothing they tell you is, "Oh wow!" Like once you get to that point in your life, then actually you can be free enough to think. And their divide and conquer tactics won't work on you specifically because you don't value nothing they say, right? Now let's continue. They say we're talking about the colored people, the disenfranchised descendants of some of the world's oldest peoples, the San and Co. They were the formerly enslaved who came from as far as Indonesia, Mozambique, Madagascar, and Ghana. So they are descendants of slaves on the African continent, the colored people. right? Some people thought that slavery didn't happen on the African continent. They say, oh, we went through colonization. No, you was enslaved too. Because you have some people that think, well, we wasn't no slaves. Like, yeah, you were. You was enslaved in your own homeland. That's even worse. I mean, you do need to acknowledge your own slavery, because not everybody was taken to the quote unquote new world. Only so many people went to the new world. And once they figured that thing out, they kept the slavery right there. And they went on ahead and had the Berlin Conference and say, this is how we're going to divide up the continent. All right. And then we're going to go over here. We're going to colonize. We're going to enslave them. Look at what Leopold did in the Congo. Look how savage he was. You didn't make your quota for the day. You was getting your hands chopped off. And them sickos to this day, if you go to Belgium, they sell chocolate hands to this day. It's hands as chocolate they sell. That's how sick they are. But we knew from America that they love to keep trophies of what they done to black folk. They will fight in America over body parts that they could put on their mantle. So there was no different in the African continent. It's the same culture, same people. No matter what language they speak, it don't matter what name they call themselves, it's the same. Wherever they went, it was calamity. It was destruction. It was slavery. It was murder. It was all that. It was nothing good that was brought. Not a thing. Now they will lie to you and say, well, some of our people did some bad things, but we brought a lot of good. Like they were living way better before you showed up. Way better. So how you brought anything good? How do you bring something good, but you brought destruction, you brought oppression, you brought violation, and you know what word I really want to say? You brought all that mess, but say you brought something good? Like all the evil you done cancel out the so-called good, and you didn't do it for the good of the society. You did it for yourself, because in Europe, you couldn't do nothing. You was dirt poor. You was living in disease and filth in Europe. So you had to go and try to make money and colonize all these different lands of people that have some sort of melanin to them. But that's it. We talking about world history here. We're not making nothing up. So let's continue. The colored people, their descendants, who was enslaved. They were also the children of mixed race relationships and young black children kidnapped along the Boer Trek into South Africa's interior. Now, that's why they pride themselves on this ethnic background about, some of the Asian descent. Now, let's talk about the Asian descent. The ancestors of the Asians are in Madagascar. Just look it up. Look up the people of Madagascar and what they look like. That's their descendants. And they know that. Now, they say some were black people who chose to be classified as colored during apartheid because it had a slightly more social and economic advantages. So if you were considered colored during apartheid, you was treated a lot better than the actual black people. Even though you are black, your people was enslaved, you didn't have no special privileges. But remember, Cecil Rhodes say, wait a minute, I can use this racially ambiguous people. Yeah, I know they Africans. I know all that mess, but I'm going to use them to create a problem because I don't want these coloreds and blacks to get on code. So we're going to use them as a buffer class. No different than what they do here in the United States. I told you, these people don't change. These people talk about they're progressive. They're not progressive. The same things they were doing in the 19th century, they're doing in the 21st century. The same thing. What they're doing today, they're using all these different buffer classes to cause problems for who? Me and you. They just tweaked it a little bit, just a little bit. So they make sure everybody comes in, for the most part, is hostile toward us. Then they tweaked it a little bit to make sure, because y'all don't understand the game. When y'all talk about some, not all, but some of our distant cousins that come over here that want to get a butter biscuit, they peeped out the sellout gene in them. at those embassies, because you don't understand. Not every African that want to come here, they give them a visa. They stand in long lines to try to get a visa to come here. And the United States Embassy take their money. To me, it's robbery, what they do. They take their money, and I didn't know this to actually a quote-unquote colored told me in South Africa this. He said that he tried to get a visa to the United States. And this dude was real cool. Cool cat, man. Real cool cat. He said that they'll take your money, and if they don't approve you, you don't get your money back. Now, these countries are trying to make it, and you're taking their money. If you're not going to approve them, give them their money back. But no. So you take a risk of trying to get a visa. And you have to come back again and do all kind of things, right? So not everyone that tries to come over here, and then if you go to the continent, they'll tell you, hey, a lot of them people that went to the States over there where you at, they wasn't no good here. They was to sell our class here. They sold us out here. We were glad they gone. I was told that more than once. So when y'all think that the brothers and sisters on the continent is like the ones you have encountered here, that's not the case, because I was told you. No, the United States government is picking. They're picking Candace Owens, and they're picking, I'm just using her as an archetype. They picking a Candace Owens. They want her to come over here. They want Tim Scott. They want the African version of Tim Scott and Candace Owens to come over here. That's what they want. If they peep that in them and say, oh, you got a visa. You can come on. You can be a citizen of the United States. You can go to school over here. I'm letting y'all know the game. Now, you have some good brothers and sisters kind of slip underneath the radar, or maybe their children, first generation, kind of see, wait a minute, hold on, man. Mama and daddy, what you talking about? That's not the experience I'm having. And a lot of times when you meet a first generation or second generation, they're more into the Black American culture than it would be their own culture in a household. So a lot of times they'll get it. And sometimes they even tell you, man, my parents was stupid, man. I don't know what they was on. Some of them will tell you that, okay? So the colors was used as a buffer class. So imagine the system changes where now Black folks are in control, and yet you still got those elements there. Now, would you naturally, as a Black person, be looking at them kind of side eye on a good day? Because a lot of times you remember they was given a privilege in apartheid. You was the lowest of the low if you were Black, the lowest of the low. Now, from what I was told, a lot of Black people, they cool, but a lot of times they only be looking at them like, whatever. Now, some are into that I'm colored, and some are acknowledge and say, no, yeah, I know my background, but I'm Black. I embrace my Black side. I'm not any of that. You know what I'm saying? And I've met some in South Africa that talk like that. And I'm a firm believer, hey, if you identify as Black, then I'll rock with you. If you identify as something other or whatever, as long as you don't disrespect me, I accept you, whatever, right? So just wanted to give this before we get started here. Now I can get to my screen where I can actually watch y'all. Sorry about that. Had to lower that. All right. What's somebody say, Mr. Brown? Who's Mr. Brown? Okay. Now, let's get to what I want to get to, the actual video. Now, before I cue up the video, I'm not going to play it as of yet. This is a woman that some of y'all seen this video, some of y'all have not seen this video. Now, let's look at her for a minute. Before we play this video, before we hear her voice, anything, I'm going to go old school for a minute. I'm going to channel my grandma, my great-grandma, my grandfathers, Pop, and everybody else in my family right now. Let me look at them features. Because in Black American culture, we look at them features. That's what we do. We look at them features, and no matter what somebody say, no matter how light they are, we can tell. So let's look at her. Obviously the lips. Come on. Really? Okay. The nose. Now, how many of y'all got a cousin that look just like her? Literally. The color, features, everything. Put a one in the chat if you got a cousin that look like that in your family here in America. They got the same color, features, whatever. Because I got people in my family that's her color and even lighter. And they come from two black parents. Two black parents. See, the artist today say he got a cousin that's black and look just like her. Yeah. But she's so different. She's so different. And that's why when we hear, before I play this video, when we hear them be on that, I'm colored, I ain't black, I'm Dominican, I ain't black, and then just don't even play the video, just look at you. You not nothing else. You just a light skinned, I want to say another word on YouTube, not the N word, but the other word, they still trip about it. You a light skinned black person, that's why people be saying something to you. But let's go ahead on and play. Let's go ahead and play what she has to say. And then we gonna follow up on this. So let's hear it.
Hey you guys, I just thought let me respond to this comment right here. I've been getting so much backlash, hateful comments on my Colored Swilco's video from all these American people. Now, I thought let me respond to let you guys know, my fellow American people, this video was not meant for you. I didn't ask for the video to go viral like that, but I was speaking to my fellow South African people. We understand the term colored people here in South Africa because in South Africa, you find white people, black people, Asian people, and then you find colored people like myself. I'm a proud colored. And I was speaking to my fellow South African colored people because that's how we silk press our hair. Now, you guys just come onto my video and comment whatever the hell you want to comment just because you don't educate yourself about what's happening in South Africa or what cultures we have in South Africa, thinking that the world only revolves around the US and the UK. Why don't you go and educate yourself? And I really hope that all you American people see this video and understand that in South Africa, we have colored people. It's an actual tribe here. It is an actual race. And I'm a proud colored.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through this video one more time, and if you seeing the folks coming in here, because you know the folks they let me tell you about the folks. 'Cause I saw one of them in here. They want to keep this confusion going. You understand what I'm saying? When we pointing out the confusion and showing like the lunacy of it, and here they come, leave them alone, don't tell them anything. Yeah, because you want to keep up the confusion with a lot of people, right? So I'm gonna get to some points in this, and so I'm gonna play it again, and I'll stop at certain points.
Hey, you guys, I just thought let me respond to this comment right here.
Now, when they say "watch your mouth, colored," well, obviously, if that's the way you spell colored, that's you from the United States. So yes, in this country, that term's offensive. It really is. The first time that I met a guy that was quote unquote colored, he told me about a story at the hotel at the Marriott of a black American sister. For some reason, somebody said something about colored, and everybody's keep calling me Lord Jesus. Everybody's calling me. But let me let her play this real quick one more time, and then I'll pick up where I left off. Just give me a second.
Getting so much backlash, hateful comments on my Colored Swilco's video from all these American people. Now, I thought let me respond to let you guys know, my fellow American people, this video was not meant for you. I didn't ask for the video to go viral like that, but I was speaking to my fellow South African people. We understand the term colored people here in South Africa because in South Africa, you find white people, black people, Asian people, and then you find colored people like myself. I'm a proud colored. And I was speaking to my fellow South African colored people because that's how we silk press our hair. Now, you guys just come onto my video and comment whatever the hell you want to comment, just because you don't educate yourself about what's happening in South Africa or what cultures we have in South Africa, thinking that the world only revolves around the US and the UK. Why don't you go and educate yourself? And I really hope that all you American people see this video and understand that in South Africa, we have colored people. It's an actual tribe here.
All right, sorry about that. I had to actually take a call. My wife was out of town dealing with a hotel. But so you heard what she was saying. Like I said, I'm gonna get back to the point I was at. Let me start about number 4. About 4 seconds. All right.
So much backlash, hateful comments on my colored swilkos video from all these American people. Now, I thought, let me respond to let you guys know, my fellow American people, this video was not meant for you. I didn't ask for the video to go viral like that.
Okay, let me stop right there. Anytime you post something on the internet, and that's any of you who are listening under the sound of my voice, if you post something on the internet, it has the potential to go viral. So when you post on the internet, be careful if you don't want attention, if you don't want your job to know, if you don't want your family to know, like anything can go viral, right? Now, I'm going to show somebody on the screen real quick. Dr. Chi. Let me talk about her. I interviewed her a couple of years ago. She's a doctor. And she recently posted, you know, those videos where on TikTok where they saying, like, for instance, they say me, you know, I'm a black father. Of course, I go check on my children when they get quiet, you know, that sort of thing, right? So she posted about her being a black doctor. Now, it went viral. She didn't expect it to go viral. So guess who got in their feelings about her being a black doctor, talking about the discrimination that she deals with as a black doctor by who? The folks. Being, you know, thought that she's the nurse, that she's the maid, the cleanup, you know, anything but a doctor, or asking where the real doctors are at. And they didn't tell her in the response that she was wrong or she was lying. She was just mad that she called them out on it. Because, you know, the folks, they never would take responsibility of what they do. They get mad at you for calling them out for what they did to you. You know what I'm saying? But we did not here to fix them. So just be careful when you put a video up if you don't want everybody to see it. All right, so let's continue. So, lady, you put it up on the internet, and then this one, you telling people to respond. So what you think gonna happen?
I was speaking to my fellow South African people. We understand the term colored people.
Well, we all got educated. So you're happy about that term. Okay, fine. What up?
In South Africa, because in South Africa, you find white people, black people, Asian people, and then you find colored people like myself. Mm-hmm. I'm a proud colored.
And I've been to Cape Town, and I will tell you, the colored community are extremely disenfranchised in Cape Town. They are living horrible. Look, if you don't believe me, how some of them live, go look at that documentary about the Cape Flats. Write it down, the Cape Flats. You're going to be like, oh my God. Now, the white folks in Cape Town that live over there, oh, they doing good. Do you know Cape Town got a whole white mayor? Do y'all know that? When you get to Cape Town, you're like, man, where am I at? Because you come out of Joburg and you're like, you know, oh yeah, black people, yeah. And then you get to Cape Town, you're like, where did I go? Because that was never my experience of the first time I went to Cape Town, right? And I had to go look at the demographics of who. I say, hold on, let me see where I'm at. So the demographics show is more black people there, and then you got the colored people. They outnumber them, but I guess I just never seen that many in the continent like that. Because, you know, I went to Ethiopia, Kenya prior to that, and I never seen that before, right? So let me continue.
And I was speaking to my fellow South African colored people because that's how we silk press our hair. Now, you guys just come.
Your hair is no different than any other black person hair. Like, what is the difference with your hair versus any black person hair I've seen in South Africa? Black women hair I've seen here in America. Now, I will say what's different is, you don't have the hairline we have here, though. I will say that. But, a sister here could tell you what to do with your hair. I guess, if you think you're different.
Onto my video and comment whatever the hell you want to comment, just because you don't educate yourself about what's happening in South Africa or what cultures we have in South Africa.
Well, why don't you educate people, ma'am? Since you say the internet doesn't know and you're part of that culture, why don't you just educate? Like, it doesn't take you but 5 minutes to educate people. Why are you so mad about people just not knowing about your culture?
Thinking that the world only revolves around the US and the UK.
Nobody said that. When you come up here talking about how you do your hair, I'm colored, where the colored girls at? And then the internet is open to everybody. So you're going to have people in the diaspora say, what do you mean colored? And then they really going to home in on what you're saying, ma'am. You can't get mad because you didn't educate yourself why people are upset about the word colored. You telling everybody else to educate themselves, but you haven't educated yourself. Jesus Christ.
Don't you go and educate yourself? And I really hope that all you American people see this video and understand that in South Africa, we have colored people. It's an actual tribe here. It is an actual race. And I'm a proud colored.
Okay. All right. So that's her. Now let's go to Exhibit A real quick. Who's on the screen, ladies and gentlemen? This lady, and everything. Now I'm gonna say something. La Blue, don't come here telling me how to run my stream, because I played that video more than once without me saying much of nothing. La Blue, don't say that. I'll get you out of here next time. So on the screen, we all know that is Meghan Markle. Okay? Meghan Markle, we know, is married to Prince Harry. Prior to being with Prince Harry, Meghan Markle ran around here. She didn't say she was black. She said she was promoting mixed. Matter of fact, that woman on the screen got more African features than even Meghan Markle do. Okay? About same color, just about, but definitely more defined features. Now, Meghan Markle had a nose job too, so I had to remember that. But when Meghan Markle got to the UK and got into that royal family, and after she got some good education by them good folks over there in the UK, and let her know that mixed stuff it don't fly, they let her know real quick. Oh, she not running around here talking about she mixed no more like she was before. See, that's what people trying to tell you, young lady. Get yourself out of that confine of South Africa and come on over here to the good old US of A. Come over here. Go to the good old UK and go tell them people that you colored. Go tell them that you ain't black, you colored. I would love to be a fly on the wall. I would love to be there. I would love it. This one, look, Mike says this colored woman is more melanated than, what do you say? You say than my Latino woman. Okay, so what are you saying about that? What does that woman have to do with anything that is in my personal life or anything else? Now let me talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up. That's these new men. Let me get on the screen. I'm gonna talk about these new men for a minute so I can continue. Where we at? Meghan Markle. We on. Who is that? What's that? Here. Let me talk about that for a minute. I'm glad you brought that up. Do you know why a lot of you men today don't have a woman, and why women not even dating you anymore? And it's not even a channel for that, but I'll go there for a minute. The reason why women aren't dating you anymore And the reason why they're like getting their education and they're getting their own homes and they're passing a lot of you and you're mad and complaining about women passing you is because a lot of you are very feminized. Okay? I'm trying to help you. You're very feminized. We're talking about a subject matter and you're talking about what you think you know in my personal life, right? Okay, cool. My personal life is going to be what it is. And there's nothing you going to do to change it. Or nobody on the internet going to do to change it. Trust me, I'm very happy at my house. 9 times out of 10, when people talk like that, they ain't got a woman, especially a guy. They ain't got a woman. Listen, I would respect it more if a woman says certain things like that. But you dudes today are so feminized. You're so feminized. This is why you see no role reversal. Because in our community, a lot of these guys act like women. And unfortunately, some of the women had to step up, unfortunately, and become manly. It's because a lot of you new age dudes are sassy, you're in your feelings, and worrying about what other men are doing. You're pocket watching other men constantly. You're worrying about what another man's woman is doing. That's things that women do, bruh. That's not what men do. As men, we don't worry about the female of another dude. We don't worry about the dude's money. We're trying to get our own money, our own paper, so we can secure our woman that we want or our kids. That's why people that's why a lot of you dudes are single today. And then you're getting mad and becoming incels and all that sort of thing. Now, a lot of men not like that, but some of you are. So just want to let you know that. That's why a lot of you don't have a woman. But let's get back, to what we're actually talking about. Because trust me, young ladies, I feel for you. I really do. And sometimes I get on to y'all, but sometimes I understand at the same time because these dudes today grew up with single mothers and they're so feminine and you can really see they didn't have a father in their life. And it's pretty bad. They chatty patties, they gossip, they wearing the purses you're wearing. They wearing dresses. And they claim they not LGBT, but they listen, when I was in Chicago with my wife and we took that boat trip, I said, I couldn't believe what I saw. This dude had a lady. He got a purse on and she got a purse on. And let me say something to you women. I blame you too. If you sitting up there got a man and he got a purse on, you the woman, the purse belong to you. He supposed to be having a doggone wallet. Okay, if you are traveling, whatever, a backpack, but you walking around with a merce, that's what y'all calling it now, a merce. What man need to carry things in a merce like he's a woman? Everything a man need is in his wallet. And it's not no old school what I'm talking about. Y'all dudes don't look like y'all been through nothing. Your hands are softer than women's hands. And I don't see how any woman date y'all. I just don't see it. Men supposed to be men. But that's here nor there. So Meghan Markle got a good education on racism, white supremacy. So much so that Meghan Markle, with her so-called colored or mixed self, right? She had to leave the UK to come back over here to the United States of America. Do you really think Prince Harry wanted to leave the UK? No. But he left the UK because of his wife, because they were treating that woman no different than any dark-skinned black woman had been treated. Do you know how threatened they are with women like Meghan Markle? Because if they could pass, they'll slip in them black jeans and all of a sudden they have a child later and the child come up dark like me. And they're like, where that come from? And the whole time they were passing. You know somebody else who I think is passing? And I looked at woman's kids and I say, I hope she ain't telling people she white. Do you know that politician, Carrie Lake? Look at that woman. Go look at that woman. I don't know what she say she is. I was trying to see. Then I looked at her kids and I say, she married to a white dude, but her kids you can still tell. I say, is she walking around? I say, I hope she ain't walking around here saying she white. I said, because I can clearly see that if she's doing that, she's passing. But the confusion that I know some people say, I don't care about them, like South Africans may say, Phil, well, you wasting your time. I don't care. No, the fact is, I guess I have a heart for the confused. I just do. Because if they get out their bubble, they're going to get the experience. Or you can have like the last girl I did a video about that say Black Americans. And like, okay, if Black Americans, if we so-called got an opinion, why do y'all make videos to us? Like, you want the engagement with Black Americans. You secretly want us to talk to you. Because if what we say didn't matter, or what the Black people in the UK say didn't matter, why would you make a video back and say you want us to respond or whatever? I think that y'all really want our attention like that sometimes. I don't mind giving it to you because this is what I do for a living. You know, I mean, listen, God has blessed me with the perfect a way to earn a living. I remember when I was a kid, y'all, people used to always say, oh, Phil, you talk too much. Be quiet. And now people love to hear me talk. And it's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. Hold on, let me get back down here where y'all at. I'm not paying attention. Yeah, Imitation of Life. Yeah, KB. Definitely remember Imitation of Life. You know what I'm saying? It's fine. Listen, no, I don't mind people wanting attention because I like to give it to you. Hell, if she want to do an interview on the show, I love to have her. I love to have her here. I'll gladly talk to her. I'll gladly talk to the Dominican one too. I'll gladly talk to him. That's fine. There's no issue, no problem. Because you heard that the historic confusion came to create a buffer class. And she basically trying to uphold the buffer class a little bit, but in current South Africa, she don't get no privilege. Oh no. Even in Cape Town, even when you have the whites there, she don't get no privilege in no Cape Town. That don't happen. You say you got 25 nieces and nephews. Yeah, we all do. We all got people in our family that look like that woman. That's why when we hear you say that, I ain't black, I'm colored. I'm like, you look at them up and down like, what? Like, you ain't nothing but an old light-skinned black person. Girl, go sit down somewhere. That's like the old people say, girl, go sit down somewhere. Let me tell you something. Now, the black people in South Africa and then the so-called the colored people got the same accent as the whites, though. And a lot of colored people speak Afrikaans, the same language they speak. So they got the same, they speak their language and they got the same accent. The black people, they don't have their accent. I listen a lot to people's accents when they talk, and I can just tell they sound just like the whites. But regardless, you ain't nothing but some light-skinned black folks with straighter hair. That's it. No different like my grandma used to say, a lot of y'all look like them Louisiana Frenchmen. How many of y'all from the South? And your grandma didn't talk about them Louisiana Frenchmen. They look no different than them. Come on now. I'm from down here, especially Port Arthur. Everybody know them Louisiana Frenchman girls and the Louisiana French males. They all light skinned like her, a little lighter. Some of them got sandy blonde hair. Some of them got the green eyes and gray eyes and all that, real light brown eyes. I mean, they back in the day, them little females like that, dudes would be acting a fool over them. But then my grandma put me on game a long time ago, and she was actually right. She said, "Look, let me tell you about them little Louisiana Frenchman girls there." He said, "Yeah, they may look nice, and they may got that long black hair and them colored eyes, but they crazy." I said, "Grandma, why you say that?" She said, "Look, let me tell you something about that." You say, so she said at one point in time, say not today, but at one point in time, they took a lot of pride in that color, and they didn't want none of their daughters to have nobody your color. I said, I'm gonna say, oh, okay. So what is that about? I said, so what would they do? Well, first of all, they would forbid their daughters to marry, somebody like you. I mean, if they did something, they had to sneak off and leave. He said, but what a lot of them are doing to preserve that color. This is why I say they this is my grandma. This is why I say they crazy. Is because what they'll do, they'll have them marry a second and third cousin. I say, what? He said, yeah, second, third cousin, just so they can keep that color. And that's why, when you inbreed, that happens. I'm like, oh wow. How many of y'all heard? How many of y'all heard that? How many of y'all heard that from y'all Louisiana grandmas or grandpas? Have y'all heard that same story? Well, somebody asked about albinos. All the albinos I ever met in my lifetime, they all said they were black. I've never seen an albino person and I remember our next door neighbor, well, her name was actually Blondie, actually. Our next door neighbor was albino and she was black, right? I've never met a quote unquote albino person and never said they were black. I've never heard that. You say your grandma's from Arkansas, Keisha? I said, okay. But yeah, my family came from Louisiana, so what Boulay Martin do this time? Because I really don't talk about him too much on this channel. I'm also engaged conversation about him on our podcast channel. What do you do this time? Oh, you say they don't tell the Afrikaners not to talk about race? Yeah. One thing I'll tell all y'all, I do this for a living, so I'm going to talk. If you say, why are you discussing this? Why are you discussing that? That's what we do. We have these conversations. Not everybody can have these conversations. Oh, another thing I need to ask y'all. So just to take a poll, right? So as you see as of late, I kind of started this more so toward December. We're definitely trying to go into January. As you know, as you see, every time you see me now, I'm doing more live streams than short form content. I would like to know, you put in the chat, do you prefer me doing live streams? That'll be a number one. Do you say, nah, I prefer short form content? I only like to see that. Let me know, one or two. I like to get a little poll. One if you like the live streams. Two if you say, you can go back to the short form. But according to the numbers, y'all like it. But just let me know. Oh, here we go. Okay. I'm checking. Well, so far it's people, some people, a lot of people, it's more ones. Some people say both. Some people say maybe both. Now, where my truck drivers at? My truck drivers or some of my 12-hour shift people, maybe you work in the hospital. Shout out to James. For the love offering, my 12-hour people working in the hospital, my petrochemical people that work 12 hours, anybody working 12 hours. Sometime I remember when I used to work 12-hour shifts, I would love longer form content just to pass the time, right? So my barber also drives trucks, and he said that he likes live streams because when he's driving the truck, he can just put it on and listen to it while he's driving. He said that when you're making like the short form content, he said, I got to keep changing it. I got to keep going to the next video. He said, sometimes he said like for guys like us or ladies, he said the long form is very, very good. He said, so he said, yeah, please keep doing that. I love listening to the long stuff. I said, okay, You say you work at the hospital? Or you say you listen on your 12-hour shift? Yeah, because, you say truck driver. Okay, man, shout out to all the truck drivers, man, and my nurses and doctors and CPA, Lord. Yeah, shout out to y'all, too, right now. CNAs, shout out to the people that work in the kitchen at the hospital. Because, I remember, they had a Miss B. Miss B. Miss B in the neighborhood used to work at St. Mary Hospital. Y'all from Port Arthur, in the chat, St. Mary Hospital. At least you grew up in my time period. I'm almost about in my mid-40s. At St. Mary Hospital, Miss B used to cook over there. Boy, if you had to go to the hospital and visit anybody, you want to go there and eat. Boy, Miss B would throw down in that St. Mary's kitchen. I'll tell you what. The food was always good when I grew up because you had them sisters working everywhere. So you didn't have white folks cooking a whole lot of nothing. It was black people. It wasn't Hispanics. It wasn't. The only time you saw Hispanics unless you went to the Mexican spots or some Central American spot or the Asians, if you can go one of their spots. But mostly the fast food, the regular restaurant, it was mostly black women back there throwing down. Look, those of y'all remember, if you're from Port Arthur, do you remember Luby's? Do you remember that Luby's on, I think 73? Well, the one, you ride down 73, you get off of there, they had that Luby's right there. I don't know if y'all remember that. Boy, that Luby's was good. Luby's was good, man. And my favorite food at Luby's was that fish. And the way they did that fish was so flaky. And then I would get the mac and cheese. That mac and cheese was good. Okay, NMK1 say like the engagement, cool. So get that mac and cheese. I'll have to definitely get either the cheesecake or that blue Jello. That blue Jello was always on point. And on top of the mac and cheese, they made this little dish where it had like made out of meat, cheese. It was some little dish you get that if you're in the steak. The fried okra, man. That fried okra, I'm telling y'all, trust me, I miss that. That was the only restaurant my grandma would be okay with us going to if she didn't make food. You can see my grandma would get up in the morning. First of all, if you got a black grandma in that time period, what TV show would be on TV Sunday morning? If you got a black grandma in that time period, what TV show? Come on, y'all. Y'all should know this. I'm looking in the chat. What TV show that your grandma watched on Sunday morning? And you better not touch that TV when it's on. What show? Yeah, but what's the name of the show, order for today? What's the name of the show? Ain't nobody watching no Billy Graham. Ain't nobody watching no Westerns. Ain't nobody watching no Oral Rock on Sunday morning. What show? Nobody said it yet. You talking about Westerns. Nobody watching no Westerns. Nobody wasn't watching no Sanford and Son either. Creflo Dollar wasn't even out at that time. Definitely gospel, but what's the name of the show? There you go. Charles got it. Bobby Jones Gospel. Charles got it. Oh, yeah. Bobby Jones was on. You better not turn off Bobby Jones. So my grandma will get up, put on Bobby Jones, and then she get in there cooking. You know what I'm saying? Cooking. She'll cook it to a point where she could stop. When you had to go to church back then, you had to go to Sunday school and service. So she get up about early, 6 o'clock, start cooking. She'll cook some things, cook things about halfway or so. She'll stop. Then we got to go to Sunday school, 9 in the morning. Sunday school, 9 to about 10:30 or so. Get in at 10:30, you kind of mixing and mingling, whatever. Then you got to go to 11 o'clock service. Then from 11 o'clock service lasts all the way to 1. All the way to 1. Never forget them days. Sometime 1:30. Then don't let them talk about 3 o'clock service. Then you got to go back for 3 o'clock service. So you was already, look, you almost spending all day at the doggone church house. Like, oh, man. And then my grandma was the type, she had her seat. You don't sit in her seat. I never forget that. This one man came there, and she already had her seat in the second row on that corner on the right-hand side. This one man was sitting there. My grandma walked up there. She said, yeah, you kind of move. I mean, you in my seat. And he said, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't notice your seat. And he sure moved too. And yeah, boy, she wouldn't sit nowhere else except that seat. Man. Don't y'all remember them days? Now, I would never want to go home with my grandmother, though, after church, because she going to stay talking to them women. She'll stay there talking to 2 o'clock, talking to them women. My grandpa was always the type, church over, man, he out. So I was like, ooh, let me go with grandpa over here. Let me go to Pawpaw, where he at. And then shoot, man, he get home quick, because the church is literally in the neighborhood. So it wasn't like it was far or nothing like that. Man, you could have walked to church if you wanted to. So I got in there with my grandpa, went back, get back, got them church clothes or whatever. And yeah. So it was just good times. I mean, that's the time period where all my family was together. It wasn't no discussion about what you're not going to do to show up. You going to come to Thanksgiving. You going to come to Christmas. You going to come to birthday parties. It wasn't no excuse unless you was in the hospital or in jail or you had to work. It wasn't those 3 things. Oh, you going to be there. No excuse. Now the old people gone, unfortunately, in our community. And I will say our community went down a lot, I think, because of that. Because of they kept the family together. They kept us, with our Black American traditions like we would have them. Some of us still kind of do those traditions. Like, now I have my family, and of course, like my dad's side of the family, we all get together. We're close and everything. So that's great and that's beautiful. But it was much bigger than that. We had them big family reunions. I don't know if y'all remember them family reunions back. And so the family reunions most of the time would be in Louisiana for us. Like I say, most of my family comes from Louisiana. And we say the term distant cousins, like about the continent and stuff like that. That's kind of like how it is when you go to the African continent. It's like distant cousins. You go to a family reunion and you see people that that's my cousin. Okay. So you start talking to them and X, Y, Z, and you say, oh, yeah, it is a cousin of mine or whatever. And you just, it's family. You may haven't met them yet, but they family. So the term distant cousin is actually a good term. Oh, Keisha. I don't go to nobody church. No. I take what the scriptures say literally, that Jesus died so you didn't have to go to no temple or nothing. You can go directly to God yourself. And thank Jesus for that, because I don't go to none of their churches today. Their churches today are trust me, if the Lord was here, he would be beating them all with that whip. How they are in these churches today. My Lord. You know why I don't respect the church today? When they don't call out the evil. Like, for instance, Martin Luther King was a preacher. He wasn't perfect, but he was a preacher. He called out the evil in his day. That's what he's supposed to do as a man of the Lord, right? Malcolm X, Islam, a man after Allah's heart, right? He called out the evil in his day, doing exactly what he was supposed to do. Minister Farrakhan called out the evil in his time. And he's, what I'm saying? Like, he don't say a whole lot anymore, but he don't really have to. Because one thing I even said this, you're not getting a charismatic leader like that no more. Because I believe God has given us enough. And if you can't follow what they said, we don't need no more at this point. We don't need that. You don't need another Dr. Khalid Muhammad. You don't need another Dr. Claude Anderson. You don't need that. If you can't follow what they said already, and a lot of things they said are starting to come to pass, you don't deserve no more people like that. No. Conversation. So you're right. They call out no evil. None. Let me see, I'm on YouTube, so let me see how I can say this. There's a lot of sin and unrighteousness that go on that's really propped up. And the preachers say nothing. Listen, the society is so depraved that people have normalized. Okay, how I'm gonna say this? I'm on YouTube. When did you see Sexy Red's latest video shoot or something that was popped up on X? If you saw it and you saw what her baby daddy was doing to her, you can put in the chat what she was doing. I just got to be careful how I see it on these platforms. But what he was doing to her, or the insinuation of it, is something that, especially black folks, we never did no depraved, filthy crap like that. And for sure, the preachers would have called something like that out. We're literally putting our face and our doggone mouth and everything else on a body part that God didn't mean to be putting your mouth on. You defecate out of there, and you putting your mouth there. You know good and well you didn't. That's why I say a lot of you go get the same judgment as them folks. Because at one point in time, with things like that, that's what the folks is doing. Now you doing it. You no different than they are. Some of you. Yeah, Geno Jennings, look. Now I go sit in his service because Geno Jennings is the truth. Hell, I'll go to the corner and listen to the Hebrew Israelites. They at least calling out sin and unrighteousness. I respect the Hebrew Israelites on that. I've always respected them. Because at least they actually get out there. They're not sitting inside their meeting area. They're on the street corner. If you follow what the Bible say, Christ is in the street. He wasn't in the temple. He was in the street with the people. So I at least give the Hebrew Israelites that they actually get out on the corners and talk to people, whether you agree with them or not. At least they go out there and do it. But the fact is, but you know how our people got so depraved when they took the fathers out the homes? And this goes back to your boy here. Hold on. This your boy here.
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
A lot of you black folks, that guy, he did the 1994 crime bill and took black fathers out of the household. When black fathers in the household, we didn't have no depravity like that. When you took them out of the household and left them with single mothers, it's not meant for mothers to raise children alone. It's supposed to be a mother and a father together. You put all these black men in the prison, no fathers, and then they can be pulled this way, pulled that way by men of other groups, deceived, no protection for the children, and now you have this depraved mindset, this reprobate mind that we got in American society in general, but we can be around depravity, but don't have to partake in it. Of course, not all of us are doing that, but if you watch that Sexy Red thing, and she is not funding herself, the folks is funding her and you wonder why some people look down on black Americans, is because black Americans unfortunately participate in propaganda and filth and put out those images about our people. You notice that these record labels don't sit up there and put that same filth about their people, no matter what people they represent. They are the kings and queens of doing those sort of things, putting their mouth in places it shouldn't be. But you notice they don't do that. They don't put that on a Taylor Swift video, do they? They wouldn't even put that like that on a Madonna video. They don't do that to their people. If you notice that, no other group of people, they'll do that filth. But unfortunately, our people have no self-worth, a lot of them. And we don't want to stand on code, but at the same time, how could they stand on code when a lot of us will give excuse for that? the people that's not doing it cover for that. So that's a whole different live stream in itself. What time it is, y'all? Well, it's about that time. The folks been doing demonic stuff, conversation. That don't mean you got to do it. I'm not saying you. I'm talking about the people in the community. Like the old people used to say, so if this person jump off the bridge, you going to jump off of it too? You know what I'm saying? But no, they have, because they have no fathers. And I mean, look at these people who do this stuff. Every black person I know that had a father in their household, I'm talking about a real straight-laced alpha black father in their life, they never did no crap like that. That's why they understood after the civil rights movement, we got to take the black man out of the household. And then the black men that were left that we couldn't take out of the household through the crime bill, let's go on and weaponize propaganda to cause a freaking friction with gender warring between black men and black women. Because they understood that black families would kick their butt during the civil rights movement. Black families coming together and say, hey, we're not going to be living like this no more. Hell no. We ain't got nothing to lose. We're going to fight. So they understood that the black man is center to that. That's why they try to raise up the woman in corporate America over the black man to cause a friction and a problem. Because it's the black man that's supposed to be taking care of the women and children. It's not supposed to be the other way around. Notice they don't do that with other groups. They don't put the Hispanic woman over the Hispanic man. They don't put the Asian woman over the Asian man. They don't put the Arab woman over the Arab man in this country. You notice that? But they're always going to try to make sure to put the black woman over the black man. That's to keep issue. But like I said, if you don't understand the game and how white supremacy works, you're going to constantly fight each other and be confused. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, because like I said, I'll be going a whole another 2 hours on that conversation. I want to appreciate everybody watching this stream. We greatly appreciate you and love y'all. If you're first time coming by, make sure you subscribe. Don't be a stranger. Make sure you download the African Diaspora News Channel app. It's very, very important. Once you get the app, get a membership there. Just click a video like in the news section. It'll say sign in. If you have an account, hit create account. Fill it in, pick one, monthly, quarterly, or you can do yearly, and join in with us, and everything will be right over there. And for people that maybe can't as of right now, we'll still do some things. We're still doing things here, right? But you got to make sure over there, because things I'm not going to post here over there. Or if something happened, like they demonetize the video, I don't leave it on the platform. I take it down, but it's already over there on the app. So, thank y'all for